What we want do to please you? We get people around, oh. They acting that they let you when you show off. I saw you turn your body and they choked off. You buy your Lego, hey, attend them. People buy you Lego, hey, attend them. If you can post your man, hey, attend them. The day you post your man, hey, attend them. If you won't ever go ever your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. If you won't ever go ever your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody.
So I said to pole. It's a long must have a like Perry. Oh, to pole. It's a long must have a like Perry. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah.
You let me out.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you join us from, say welcome once again. Today is Friday, the 20th of June 2025. Tonight, we have some stuff to share with you. Let me introduce my gentleman on the floor tonight. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, Jamal. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, before we go on, wherever you join us, so please share the show. We have quite interesting thing to share with tonight, and we want you to be part of the show and also want to be interactive. Whatever you have to do is going to be our live video. We also got some international. Paul is our guy on the international desk. In the meantime, let me speak to my guy from Norway, Lingfor Egon Boy. Lingfor, how are you this evening? How are you doing in Norway?
Well, I'm doing fine. Do you hear me?
Yeah, very well, loud and clear.
I'm doing fine, weather fine, and today is Friday, so after work today, I was doing little thing in my garden. I have a little strawberry garden. That's why we grew here. So,
okay.
So life is normal.
I know you to be a guy who works in the maritime office. So why are you doing the farm? Why is used as part of your hobbies or what?
Oh, man, any someone make more business sufficient. So instead of going to the supermarket to buy one little basket of strawberry for all that money, so I can grow my I've been doing it for a while though. So
okay.
And the kids always look forward to it. So we're not having strawberry this year. I said no, grass inside, we gotta clean it.
Is it organic or you have to go get some of these fertilizer from the supermarket because you see somebody they grow at the back of your house?
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But try to improve on your sound. I think it's
my sound is dull, yeah?
Yes, dull, yeah.
Okay. Paul said it was okay. Paul, are you doing okay?
Yeah, but it's okay, we can hear you, but it's just not natural.
Okay, I'm proud of this.
Okay.
Much better?
Well, but we just want to welcome our folks to the Bottom Line Liberia. For those of you always joining us, we hope everything is okay. I got 3 people watching from Paul is watching from PC. Paul is watching Paul.
How does my sound look like? Still not bad? Is it bad?
Not really bad. We can hear you.
I'll lock out and come back. But let me give a chance to Paul to introduce yourself. So I'll come back and then you guys can continue. Then I'll do some technical setup. Paul, a good friend of King Charles. How are you, sir? And what are we doing from London end?
Well, thank you, Jamal, and thank you, Lingfor, for you guys being on the show, and also to our audience. It's good to be back here. Being friends with the all-powerful King of England is not a small thing. So it's good to be on the show tonight and to share our thoughts and what is happening around. But England is great. The weather has been fantastic. We're in proper summer now. We haven't had rain for a few days, but it's extremely hot here that everybody, the English people, when the weather is hot everywhere, say the white people as a whole, they want to naked themselves to turn dark like me. So yes, it is where it is in the UK. And also, I'm happy to be among the living because I classify Earth to be paradise. So when we die, we don't know where we're going. So I'm happy to be among the living today and to share my thoughts and how I feel. So yes, Linford, that how it is. What you muted? You muted?
Yeah, you're right. We really have no idea what happens here after when we die because no, and sometimes it's hard to say, but people believe that there is life after death. But okay, that time will come. It's not now because if there was life after death immediately now, some people you kill a man fully will that man will come back for you. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when people die, they die, and I think yeah, until we see what will happen. Because in as much as we don't know that we were born until we grew up to see ourselves when we were baby, the very day you were born, you know that you were born. Until you grow up, after some time, then you see yourself and say, oh, yeah, this is me. So when we die, I'm sure we will not know ourselves until, or probably we'll be born somewhere else again, but nobody knows. It's difficult to say this thing. So, but it's good to be here among the living while we still feel that we are alive. So it's good, and I'm looking forward to a very good discussions today. I was just in the process of sharing the show. So for those of you joining us for the first time, we'd like to say this is the Portland Liberia, and here we discuss the issue. So please help us to share the show. Paul, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Linford. And that's right. We'll ask our audience to kind of share the show. So tonight we'll be diving into issues internationally. We'll be looking at Liberia as a whole. There are a lot of things happening in Liberia. This will be looking at this. The main topic tonight is about the Capitol building, the arrests that have been made. Something just funny about that story, because Linford, I will just start talking a little bit about all of these things. And today, this is the topic of the day. The top topics we have here. There's about Liberian jobs, 7,032 jobs awarded to foreigners. What say you? There's too many jobs. There's that 7,000? Yes. Government fund private schools overcharging for graduation fees. Those will be a talk, and then we'll talk about the trial of Fanatic Kofa, which is the key to this. But before that, we'll talk briefly on international, what is happening. So those are the topics for today. But the last topic on this thing about the trial, that is where we want the audience to talk to us too. And our telephone number will be displayed. We want you to call in. This case, it just every day does not make sense. And we need your input on this, because something is just not right here. So, Linford, that will be the talking point, and to our audience, we want their involvement. If
Yes,
I just gave a little prelude of what we'll be talking about. If I want to go and do massacre, take gun and go on the street and start shooting people, I do not need 100% to plan it, to do it. But so it's just to give you the gist of the case in Liberia, that every day they arresting people for the one Capitol building that got burned. So we will look at it, and we need your support. We need your understanding too, how you see it.
So you'll get a polyphone, man.
This is not about taking side. This is not about political something, but it involves people that have been accused. So if people have been accused of something, if you have the evidence, why don't you present the evidence and put these people behind bars? We were told all the sophistication around this case, all the satellite images that they have. That's the topic. So when we get to that topic, we need your involvement. Jamal, your show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Do you hear me loud and clear now?
Very good now.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that setup. Well, yeah, you just have it for my colleague Paul. Just giving you some rundown what we're going to have on the menu tonight. We'll be talking about the talk of town is the case of the former speaker and the others being taken down to the magistrate court, to the lower court. We want to know why. And also, the government is finding private schools for overcharging private school, they say government is saying private schools are overcharging for graduation fees. In Liberia, graduation is a big thing. High school, I mean, 6th grade, 9th grade, 6th grade, and 12th grade. When you're graduating, you want to wear that gown. It's very big in Liberia, like in the US. So people have been overcharged. The government is saying that they have a cap. So we want to know why why private school will be overcharging parents and guardians for graduation fee. And not forgetting the Paul was just telling about more than 7,000 Liberian jobs being given away, be snatched away to foreigners. We don't know why. Are they not qualified? We want to know the reason. So the labor minister should be able to defend himself. And Paul will tell us much about what's happening around the world. Paul, you want to take us through, then we can go to Liberia?
Yes, I think we should go through what's happening around the world. And we've all been following news. We've all been following what is happening. The nonsense that is happening in the Middle East, we'll look at it briefly. Then we'll look at what's happening in Europe, Ukraine, and Russia. Anybody know that our war is still going on or is over? Now the diversion is on the other side. Is there war that Israel started? Is there an economical war, or is something that to silence the rest of everybody, to divert the focus of the babies and children, babies and young children and women that are killing in Gaza? Is that diversion? It's something that we all need to look at. So we need the input of our audience. So yes, today there was a meeting held in Geneva with UK foreign minister, the French foreign minister, the German foreign minister, and the Iranian foreign minister. And to our amaze, these people, when they sat for over 4 hours in that meeting, but to tell Iran that, look, they should continue talking to the Americans, and the Americans that are supporting Israel to kill them. What a hypocrisy in this world. So, but we're going to show something here that Iran have done something that is pinning the Americans and also pinning Israel. How come Israel that have all of this mighty power being supported by the United States is now feeding the same thing that they're doing to the people in Gaza? So before I show that, I just want you guys, what your thought on the whole thing before I start showing some images about the situation in the Middle East. Jamal?
Yes, right. You know, the thing is, like we've been speaking about this all along about hypocrisy in the in politics, in the national politics, in the national political space. Now, you know very well, we've been saying it here, like I said emphatically here on this platform that, I mean, Israel was back in the wrong tree when they started bombing that country. And I said, these guys were fighting the Ragtime army. These are armed groups. And now they realize that the Iron Dome was betrayal. The Iron Dome that protected the whole of Israel is a betrayal. Now, what's happening in Israel? We all know, you know the story. You've been following international news. And I don't know how we're going to get out of this, but we still think that there's no victor in the war, Paul. Somebody got to die, some property got lost, we got a lot of loss of properties, we got death in the airport. It got a ripple effect everywhere. So there should be a way out for this to stop this. You call it just a nonsense. This war, we don't need these wars. It's like two very powerful people in the Middle East. We all believe that Israel was a elite, well-organized military group in the Middle East, and now they are they've been exposed right now. You see what's happening around there. The level of strength, military strength, has been exposed. Without the help of America, the crime of America to bomb, you heard that, to bomb they want America to bomb the nuclear sites of Iran, and that is not going to happen. But there are a lot of things happening. So what I want to say here is, like, finally, shouldn't be supporting war. We should be glorifying wars. What we should be doing, that these guys should go to the table and discuss to stop these wars. Lives will be involved, property will be destroyed. It will affect every one of us. The world global economy, the food security, everything will be involved. It will be affected. They have a serious impact around the world. So they need to stop this war. Whether who is winning or not, it's not a problem. Iran is succeeding bombing. People are happy that Iran is succeeding bombing Israel. Oh my, come on, you stop these things. We need to stop this thing. If Trump should come out and say, look, let's go to a negotiating table and discuss how to stop this war. Nobody's going to win this war, and it's going to get bloodier and bloodier every day, and we're all going to feel it. That's what I can say about this war. That's what I can talk about what's happening now in the Middle East. Middle East really on the time bomb right now, and it's going to affect every one of us.
Yeah. So, Linford, Donald Trump have given Iran 2 weeks. If not, they're going to attack. But Iran also fire back, say, if you try it, you have your military bases around here, and all of those people that are hosting you, they will also be on the firing line, and they have the capability of doing it. What say you, Linford?
You know, I don't know. No, we are supposed to be, according to science, we are supposed to be the highest class of living. You know, we should be up there in the highest class as living things, better than the trees, the animals, you know, even down to the ants. But sometimes I wonder whether we actually live up to that standard. For the fact that we are very easy to forget, or we know the fact, and then we try to play conscious innocence, or we are just defiant at our own detriment. Sometimes I wonder, you know, how can America come out to give ultimatum to another country? You are miles away, and this country is miles away, and you're giving an ultimatum 2 weeks. They've been backing Israel with that, you know, hope that God chosen people, bomb can explode in Israel. He sent bomb from anywhere, go there, will not explode. They people can attack. They've been killing Palestinians right in public glare. Everybody can see it. They made film of it. They show it. Everybody can see it. America had never given an ultimatum to stop. In fact, they supplied them the weapons. All other countries, European countries, sitting right here, supplying them. Looking at what's happening, they move Palestine and all the other countries from Walker, from Eurovision, all these things. They put Israel there. This thing is just. Where is this God that cannot come to take advantage for other people, for people who are suppressed? And then for Donald Trump to say giving 2, why make it 2 weeks? I thought you would say 2 hours, because they are being boasting that Egypt, Egypt, Israel is this untouchable. Now, when Israel, what was Israel depending on first to bomb Iran? They thought that that's another Gaza. But when Israel came by, and when Iran came by and hit her, that when all of their faces get tired of, and you can see the whole world, everybody concerned now. And you ask a good question, Paul. What's happening right now in Gaza? What's happening now in Ukraine? Nobody's talking about that. But because it's Israel, so the whole world attention turned there. But trust me, if it was Israel that was here leveling Iran, nobody they would say Israel is defending itself. So Iran doesn't have a chance to defend itself. Do not try. You shut up and let the two group fight. Nobody fighting America here. Nobody fighting America. That Israel and Iran. Do not try. Stay out of it, because they're not concerning you. So what's your pick in there? Unless you want to go do another thing like you did in America did in Iraq and in Libya, then of course the whole world will know that. And don't, you know, that's why I said he must. We supposed to be thinking highly, but we're thinking very lowly. What makes you think that the world, everybody will just sit down and tie their hand, then you go invade Iran? You try Iran, other countries will come. And my prediction will stay. I'll still repeat it. If it doesn't happen, fine. But I know there will be a catastrophe. There will be, and I pray for it, but everybody can see it. It's written on the wall, unless a blind person. There will be catastrophe over the earth. If any big country begin to, you know, to fight back. I watched a video or TikTok something just a few minutes before we came on the show, and this guy was saying that it's not a usual thing, you know, where, you know, that's the norm, right? The world order where the powerful country will get hit and they do expand and hit back. So this time when you slap, you receive a fist. And that's why Israel is receiving now. They thought, oh, we got bombed there. They thought another Gaza, he bombed there. Then you take a video and put it on, and then you go get them food. After you finish bombing there, the other people, you load them with food, you show them food, and when they pack on one plate, then you bomb them again. But this time it's not happening. So let Donald Trump yesterday, let him shut up and let the two people do it. When the thing happened, Donald Trump, America said no, we're not inside. So what you're taking there? But guys, let's have a discussion on this.
Right. So this is interesting. The reason why America now because I know usually when America goes, the United Kingdom follow. But United Kingdom now, what happened now, because in the lies that they told us that were in the Iraq war, that was mass destruction of this chemical weapon and thing, do you know how many Brits came back in body bags? So the British people now in Parliament, they raised the question, will the Prime Minister go with America if they intend with? So before you go, you cannot send, they have to discuss that in Parliament. And not going to, so the British now, they're not going to put anyone in it. The Americans don't fight alone. They always find somebody to fight along with. If you see Donald Trump say 2 weeks.
And they call and say Allah. So
yeah, no, they don't fight alone. From the time they tried that they want to help France in Vienna in the 60s. What happened when the Vietnamese were there? America never goes alone. They always find somebody to join alliance with the fight. This is the trend. And they get over 40,000 troops in the Middle East. And Iran had told them, if you touch us, there'll be casualty on your side. And also those Arab nations, those puppet Arab nations are hosting you. There'll be economic crisis. It means we'll go for the oil field that you're depending on. So now, this is the situation. What made America be scared? They could have gone in. This is gas. This is Tel Aviv today. This is how Tel Aviv looking. If you see it, almost like you see what they have done to Gaza.
Yeah.
This Tel Aviv, the mighty Iron Dome cannot stop the missile from entering. This is Tel Aviv. This is why now the Western people, they're seeing it that if these guys have this sophisticated weapon that hitting Tel Aviv like this, if we try it, there'll be more casualty coming home. So they're trying to get around this nonsense that let's stop this. But before you guys come in, there is a radio station, FM station in the UK. They call London Biggest Conversation. And people is a radio station that have that voice view. You have pros and this, and they come up with all kind of news, and they want to they get a best follower in the world. So there was a lady on that program. Before they would say, oh, Israel have the right to defend themselves. But now these people are speaking out that is Netanyahu have been lying to the West, especially the Americans, and they have formed somebody that Donald Trump who is most stupid to play on him. So I just want to listen to this little clip and then we can diverge.
The rogue state here that hasn't been mentioned is, of course, Israel, which has repeatedly broken international law, is committing genocide in Gaza, and knows exactly what it's doing in trying to ignite a regional conflagration here, in trying to tempt its major allies and defenders, the US and the UK, into a conflict. And we would be absolutely mad to fall for it. People are sick of following politicians in the pockets of arms manufacturers into unwinnable wars in the Middle East, lest we forget Iraq, when we were again tempted into a conflict on the basis of complete and utter nonsense about weapons of mass destruction, only to kill tens of thousands of people, destroy the foundations of a state, and pave the way for the emergence of ISIS. Or going back even further, when the US decided to arm the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, flooded the region with weapons, led to the emergence of the Taliban. So they go in to fight the Taliban only 10 years later to hand power back to the Taliban. We have learned time and time again that we should not be sucked in to these conflicts, despite the rhetoric of politicians who want to realistically warmonger for their own ends.
So, Grace Blakely, is your answer to Tony's question, who is more dangerous, Trump or the Ayatollah, Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yes. At this point in time, if you think about who is the leader right now that is responsible for creating the nation with the largest number of child amputees in the world, the largest number of journalists that have been killed in a conflict in God knows how long? This is an incredibly, incredibly dangerous man, and it is sickening that we are supporting him.
Right. Netanyahu, incredible, dangerous man that murder babies and women and don't have mercy for anyone. He have now found a buffoon in the United States called Donald Trump to use. Guys, That's
Yeah.
the international center. What say you before we
Yeah, I think this is something, Paul. One quite interesting thing, and I had the opportunity to go around today in a shopping center. We call it a shopping center. In the US, we call it a mall. You'll be surprised to see that newspapers that will be screaming headlines when Israel was succeeding bombing, killing people. They'll be making big news of it. But now you see no major newspaper carry anything about what's going on in the Middle East. Nothing. You know how British newspaper is very good. They're very good with these airlines, screaming airlines, making it like, you know, the whole world is falling apart. There's nothing mentioned today about what's happening when Iran is succeeding, hitting Israel very well. Nobody said anything. So you can see the hypocrisy we keep talking about here. What the lady have said here, what she has said here, the lady has said here is it's open secret, Paul. It's an open secret. We all know about it. And when Netanyahu went to, they call it BB, I don't know what you call it, BB or something. He went to somewhere way back. He went to the Congress to speak to the Congress about Iraq war. He was the first one in the Middle East that said that Saddam Hussein was creating or developing nuclear warheads. And they were clapping for they hailed him and they started putting arms together. He's the same guy going again. Look at the mockery he made himself. He said he won on the radio making powerful speech. We want the people of Iran to stand up and remove the government. We want regime change. You don't even know what you're talking about. Don't you know you're backing the wrong tree? He was making a serious mistake. I think this time they're probably I don't know who the Moxar, whoever agent were telling them, they were not well informed what happened. They just underestimated Iran very well and did not succeed getting what they wanted to get. You know what? I think you must have discussing that. What Iran did, and people have been knowing that military analysts and people around the world said, what Iran did the first 2 days, they were releasing all army nations to just get engaged, to get Israel engaged and America engaged, because America was also involved in bombing as well. Bombing, they don't have the military power to hit that much of Iran. So American were taken from the various sites, also hitting Iran. So what they did, they were the Iranians were using all missiles to send out to release it. So they were engaging those guys in new weapons. Then later on, after 2-3 days, they started releasing a new supersonic missile that were hitting that the most wonderful God-given Iron Dome cannot protect Israel. So you see how fool they are. So no, like you said, Paul, the people of Gaza, God is fighting for them. You know, Prince Nico says that, you know, his song. I think Prince Linford can quote me. It's a cow that does not have a tail, that God can drop his fly, right? That's what happened to the people of Israel. Gaza right now, Palestine. They are standing there and asking God, oh, thank you. If this is something we can't do. This is the only one that's fighting for that right now. How can you, one country, engage Lebanon, engage Iran, engage Palestine, engage Syria? What the hell do you think you are? What do you think you can do? I mean, this is serious. 4 countries one time. You just for 22 months engaged an armed group. You can't even get rid of them. We said it on this platform. Armed group, you can't get rid of them. You can't get your refugees. You can't get those the hostage. You can't get the hostages. Then you're telling me you can get attack Iran with the aim of developing our nuclear weapons or their weapons, super weapon for years. I mean, if you had the opportunity, I just want to make it say this is not publicity, but there's an English TV from the Iran called Press TV. If you had the opportunity to watch Press TV, that's the English TV for Iran. You will see the display of the ammunition, the ammunition these guys have. They have not used 0.0% yet. So don't, please, Israel, talk to your boy Donald Trump or your godfather Donald Trump to call this guy to a table to stop this thing. If these guys start dropping those bombs, at the Tel Aviv, whatever you call it, you're going to go like another Gaza.
Linford, give me a second. Let me show something where Jamal talked about this guy. Iran have now shown off their might. Take a look at this little video clip of what they got in that they have not shown off yet. Just watch this.
Iran has released a new video. And what is it about? An underground city loaded with missiles. It shows 2 generals inspecting weapons. And all of this is happening underground. The video begins with them riding in an open jeep. They drive through the tunnels, which are packed with hundreds of missiles. Then they step down. They salute pictures of Iran's supreme leader and walk over an Israeli flag. Iran is sending a message here that its attack platforms are ready. Almost all of Iran's strategic weapons were on display here. This includes the Ghadar and Qasim missiles. Both of these were used to strike Israel in October last year. The tunnels were also lined with warheads and hundreds of rockets. Clearly, it's a signal. Tehran is ready for any escalation.
Iran is ready for any escalation. Linfa, hold on. Jamal said something about the buffoon here, this criminal, this murderer called Netanyahu.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier. The second victory in Iraq will make the third victory that much easier too, but it may change the nature of achieving that victory. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
Linfa, talk to us. This complete 21st century murderer, he's seen that everybody that bad, but he is the most dangerous person, and now the radio people said it. So I just want you to conclude all in one. Talk to us.
Okay, I think most of the conflicts in the Middle East that led to the downfall of Saddam, and even coming to Libya, now in Syria, and the persistent conflict that has been there with Syria, all these countries, Lebanon, all these things. I think Netanyahu, for over 30 years, he has been very much instrumental in instigating those conflicts. Listen to his utterances, and what he does is that it's like a guy who gossips, right? He goes to America. Just recently, after this Iranian attack, he came out when he felt the weight. He came out and he wants to involve America and said Iran was planning to kill Donald Trump. So does Donald Trump live in Israel? Donald Trump does not live in Israel. Donald Trump lives in America. Iran want to kill Donald Trump, that in Israel will go blast. But because you blasted Israel and you thought it would be in the business as usual, you blast and take a picture and put on social media and post about it. When you receive fist blow and then you start crying like baby. You remember the story about the boy who cried wolf? You always cry, oh, Iran want to do this. Now Iran is doing it. Then, let me tell you, I saw today, all through go on my page, I shared, I can share it. I even share some with you today. I thought we were going to play some of them. You see, Israeli people cry. I mean, you cry all over the place. Jewish people cry. Why are we? They act like they're the biggest victim now. How? They've been killing people all in Gaza. Everybody can see it. So when they throw one bomb, then please put on a picture of the destruction of Tel Aviv. I got something to say about it. So they throw a few bombs, then you cry like nothing. You not see, you not hear bomb explode before. You've been doing this thing. In fact, they barely stay standing up. But Gaza, everything is flat. Now, but the interesting thing about this, that Jiba said something about the Western media, that's why I just want to say. They came out and said there were 7 people that died from the bombing. The 7 people. Okay, fine. But how many people die in Gaza every day? How many people die in Iran when you throw your bomb? You okay, plenty people and you're posting about it. Now, Iran throw that only 7 people die. What are you crying for? And you're saying nobody was in that building, fine. That empty building. So let Iran continue to pound it. Let's see. Because you say nobody there. Only 7 people. No stupid person will believe that only 7 people die here. Even if you crazy. So why you carrying all the people? Maybe you're putting them on the ground, fine. So let Iran get bombed. Say nobody there. Because nobody there went to them. Only 7 people die. And that's why I was asking whether the 7 people that died didn't want to die, didn't want to remain there. So when the other people run away, why did they not go? See, so they make it to look like the mainstream media make it, And this thing, the mainstream media thing has brainwashed a lot of people. Smart thing. If you talk, they say, oh, you're not in mainstream media. You see, because like the Jamal was saying, you can't see it in the papers, because it's a big shame that, oh, Iran cannot do anything to Israel. Israel is a giant. I said to say, God feels bomb and go to Israel, or God shield this Israel that people cannot even die there. You go to Israel, you see graves. People can die from sicknesses and other things. So what made you think that these people are so special more than other people? They're not in iron shield. They're not wearing iron clothes. They're breathing like ordinary people. Even death can cut them. So what a big deal about them? So for me, and Donald Trump, the issue about Donald Trump, the reason he gave him ultimatum, 2 weeks ultimatum, there are 2 reasons. Number one, he knows that if this thing, they are making background negotiations. That's why people are even meeting in Geneva today. And there is this strait, this little channel called Hormuz. That Hormuz is where all the oil, the major consumption of oil in the world, passes every day between Kuwait and all the places coming from there. So Iran had threatened that any move, they will plug that place. And once they plug that place, what happened? Other countries will be suffocated, will not have oil. Now, as we speak, Venezuela is calling for the president of Venezuela is calling for the arrest of Netanyahu. And those are the oil producing countries. So you see, Donald Trump is trying to be clever. He doesn't want anything to escalate, but he doesn't know also what will happen within 2 weeks' time. That's why I said, I think you're going to get 1 or 2 hours ultimatum. So if you want to attack 2 weeks. Why are you giving Iran 2 weeks? Iran also is preparing. Even for 1 week. The other day when we were on the show, I told you people at that time they are just bombed Iran. I told you Iran will come back. When? How? It's a different story, but surely they will come back. It could be 1 year, it could be a few hours. And what happened? After a few hours, they came back. So do not try to giving 2 weeks ultimatum. Maybe Iran in their heart, they are already giving you 1 week ultimatum. So we want to see the drama unfold.
And Jamal, before we transition to Liberia, can you just give me 2 minutes, something I wanted to bring to your attention and you're linked for? You see the displays of Tel Aviv, not only Tel Aviv, because they have crippled their oil hub. They took all their airplane from Israel. They took it to Cyprus and Greece because they knew what was coming. Today, they don't want to allow press to see what have been destroyed. But the image you saw, that satellite image that will capture part of it, Israel not allow anybody to see what is happening to them.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. The Iranians, the Iranians, what are doing? They also zooming into the country with the satellite. They also do this. That's what I was saying. Press TV and other television stations for Iran, English-speaking English channels, they are also showing the actually when they bomb, they also been followed by satellite images. They do that as well. Did you talk about the Mossad that was sent to Iran, Israel, Paul?
No, that's why I'll come, because that the Mossad something, and then also Pakistan, because what happened, the destruction that Israel is receiving, they want to, because they have nuclear weapon, they want to use it. So Pakistan general have warned, if you try that, we too will use nuclear weapon on you. So what they did, the Mossad that were caught, and the Iranian went and tied him on one of those ballistic missile, tied him, and said, we're sending you back to your country you came from.
So we're sending you back to your carry message.
Guys,
so this is not good. I mean,
the Iranians are they don't. I mean, we don't want to show that picture. It looks so immune, to show that picture. But
so the right time they got on the wall here.
They took out the warhead.
On the warhead, they tie him. They put him in their uniform.
Somebody tried.
They send him. They gave him the message to care back to Netanyahu. And that particular guy, they want to send that, they went to the military base that they outside the hospital. That
he was already dead. He was already dead when he on that missile, Paul. He was already dead. Mossad is the secret agent of I think it's the secret agent of Israel, right?
Yeah, because what happened? They sent hundreds of them into Tehran, and they don't want to carry out that assassination by killing the scientists and no generals. They were planted in there, so they caught them. that one of them they now tie him on the ballistic missile. Say, we're sending a message to your country. Go and deliver our message. That's how cruel these people are. But anyway, I just want to say that
it's sorry for a crew up or again. Wait, you know, no, listen.
Just because of the we don't want to share that. I have the image. I don't think I want to share that with the audience. That's the
when you suppress people, they can come back in any form, you know. Somebody child.
Yeah, they send him back home. He's not gonna have any befitting burial.
So yeah, it just blew the guy up. They say carry the message back to Netanyahu that this is just one. Because what they did, they will send all the Jews. Then they will send all their old that the iron Jew except then in between there they will send one hypersonic weapon that will go boom. The iron Jew can catch it. And this is the scary bit now the American men post.
I saw this video, Paul. I saw this video where the missiles were moving, and one of the missiles was very special. No, the thing hit the building. Then after it hit the building, it exploded. Then it came back in. It returned to go to another place. And these things are not good. Why do people, for no reason, you kill other innocent people for no reason? Why power? That's why. Where is this God? Where is God? Why you can't stop these things? You made us. Okay, so why can't stop us from doing this thing? We say that we'll destroy each other first before judgment day can.
Yeah. The thing is so this is what we have on the international scene. But
Paul, I want to share one thing with in Africa now, where you know your AU people, the African Union people want to meet where they need Burkina Faso president. Sorry.
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, I get a video. It's just short. So yeah, you know, he didn't what he did to the ECOWAS people. He didn't snub them. He let them come and they get punch blow, and then he went inside and from there. Then they said they came to deliver a message to him to see how he's doing and this and that. So it's very short. Even though the mail not talk, it's just so let me see if I can share it quickly while Jima is getting ready to come back. Let me see. Wait, please give me 1 second. So you know, while we're talking this thing, it may sound like it's good, but it's not good because there is nothing, there is no way, no reason whatsoever that somebody that you know people should be killing each other and suffering. So this is it. Can you see? Is it on the screen?
It's on the screen. Yeah.
Okay, let me just play it so we can see it.
It's just that we don't have volume of what they are saying, but we're seeing it. The cowardice African leaders, man, if all of them go into the young man to seek wisdom, that's good because it looks like he's doing something great. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, now they are getting to know what he stands for, so they are going there for wisdom. And that's the part that caught my eye. What have they been waiting for all this time? You know what they wanted to see, that people like General Langley then will come and intimidate this boy, or the incursion in his country, the rebel forces will, they'll do something to him and he'll be out, and all these small coups that they play against him, something will happen to him. But they see now that this boy is being heavily backed, he's being heavily protected. So now they are saying there are discussions now in AU. Say, they think the boy doing, they think getting serious. So low, let's move Shin from our faces. Let's put it like Brunway, right? Let's move Shin from our faces. Let's go and meet him and sit down with him and talk. But for me, my advice to Traore would be he shouldn't bow to any advice that they will give him for now, because he already left the ECOWAS for ECOWAS. ECOWAS is behind him. So if the AU going and they are going with the same kind of idea, that ECOWAS have, that he should convince him and maybe establish diplomatic relations with all the other people that he broke away. Advising not to do it for now, because that's what he's best known for. That's the thing that made him popular. Let him stay because he's aiming at something. And
you're right. And that's why this guy, people are emulating him now. There's a woman in Namibia. She is the new Traore in East Africa, Southeast Africa. And what she's doing is just amazing. She doesn't care. So people now are taking lecture from the young men, which is good. And I hope that all leaders, and they mean my prayer, because we want to vacate this planet. I want to see a lot of young people coming on like Traore that put Africa first. You see, all of these Western world, what they're doing now, they're building weapons upon weapons, so they're defending themselves. When will our leaders start thinking about it's time that we protect ourselves? Because when these guys vindicating themselves, one mad person can't say, oh, we're coming to colonize the whole of Africa again by bringing guns. So instead of being backers, we need people to start thinking that way. And so I'm saying, if the young people can really rise up all across the continent, it would be a good thing for those, especially. Look at Paul Biya. The man, he had 90. He don't want to leave power. Look at the guy, the other man in South Sudan. He had a walk, the president. And this is a shameful business. They have those people that they look at my own country. The 86-year-old man say just 81. Just tell you.
You're buying bulletproof.
Yeah. So this is it. So the young people is about time that
I will tell you this, Paul. Let me tell you this. You know, you said it right. It may not be in our day, but Africa will change. Africans, people, look, everything that happened on earth, somebody started it. Whether it's revolution, somebody will spearhead it. The person may not see the end of the revolution. What Traore is doing started a long time ago. You know, I follow Kwame Nkrumah. For them, they were not military people. They were politicians. They were resistance forces. Okay? But they didn't make much impact. But that ideology still lives. You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the idea of the revolution. Simple as that. Okay? Because our history will be written. Now, coming to the thing about where other countries are, you know, where other countries are protecting themselves, building weapons in the name of protection. Then now it's even if African people, your other open, you should hear. If you can see, you can hear. Other countries are saying we're protecting ourselves. Okay? And they think that these people got to protect themselves. We don't want Kelly. They get it from us to protect themselves. Why we kept uranium can enrich nuclear weapon? Okay? And I said it last time on the show. No, we don't need the raw material to get nuclear weapon. African countries, even if that one country in Africa, AU, all the AU go put together and say, okay, let's form one. Let's get our nuclear weapon. It can be in Nigeria, it can be in South Africa, it can be anywhere, but let it be there for all African. So that if any country in the world that got nuclear weapon want to threaten Africa, even in a small Liberia that they want to threaten, you turn your gun, you turn your nuclear weapon and say, I will blow your all too. Simple. No. We live in war zone. All of us live in war zone. When one man can in the town and that man get one AK-47, everybody in the town get gone, that man can control the whole town without one AK-47. But if he meets another man who get even pissed off, he will think twice. You see it? So African countries, this is the time. It's the technology that we do have because we got the raw material. So if we do have a technology, we can buy it. There are countries in the world that are producing or that are building nuclear weapons. We can go there and learn the technology, pay money for it. Okay? That's the only way we'll be respected. And I've said this. But we go country like Liberia are going to go beg for a vote to sit for non-permanency for UN, and then that big deal. Nobody don't look at you. Get weight. When you get weight, then everybody know that people in the room get weight. But you don't get weight, you chicken fellow, then you go look at elephant there, you want to be part of them. Nothing. You can't work. Paul, you are muted.
So, Gemma, that was the international front. So we're going to transition to Liberia. We're going to take over. So we'll have the quick commercial break, and then you take us through.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are spot. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Once again, I want to thank you very much for being with us. This is the Born Liberia. We want you to share the show. We want you to tell us what you think. Paul was just on the international desk. We told you what we think about what's happening in the Middle East as well as West Africa. Now, I want to take you to the home front, West Liberia. I want to first share with you what we got to tell you about Liberia. This is all we got tonight. We want to first look at it. 7,032 Liberian jobs awarded to foreigners. Now we'll take it down to government fines private schools for overcharging graduation fees. Then the last but not least topic tonight, the hot one, is the trial of the former speaker, Jonathan Fonati Kofa, JFK, with 3 others being taken to the lower court. We'll be looking at that tonight. So, gentlemen, I want to first take you about the 7,032 Liberian jobs. The question is, it has been in the news some times ago, and I think the whole noise was, the whole alarm was raised by Senator Darius Dillon with regard to the Labor Minister, Mr. Croix, that Liberian jobs reserved for Liberians being given to foreigners. And there has been an issue in Liberia. I was thinking, well, I did not qualify because we are here. We are in the West. We are carrying Liberian passports and we're given the equal opportunity to work. But then I think the situation, you guys get me in through. If you also following this conversation, please, we want you to chip in. Why are we making too much noise about jobs in Liberia? Are they not? Don't they have the right to also work in Liberia if they're qualified? Just put me through. Probably I'm talking out of ignorance here. Anyone can take from it, Linford or Paul. Why is it that we complain too much of 7,032 jobs being given to foreigners? Are they not qualified? Or is any policy in place that this job should be given to only Liberia, no other person? If it's so, why is it that Minister Crow gave it to them? I mean, 7,032 Liberian jobs. It's been in the news for the past weeks now. We also saw civil society groups coming up to support the minister. You also know that they are making some public statement about youth for the MDC, his party, that was Spring Johnson party, was making some press statement last time. So, but Linford or Paul, you take me through. Probably I don't know what's happening in Liberia with these foreigner taking jobs in Liberia. You tell me. If you also following this story, please let's have your thought on this.
Well, Jamal, before, although I don't know the detail of that story, but common sense tell me that in the country, the government is the biggest employer. They employ up to 80,000 people. Now, if you look at 80,000 people out of 6 million people, there is huge unemployment in the country. Now, foreigner may be qualified, but then there will be noise. If you cannot employ your own people, and then all of 6 million people, 7,000 jobs, and that 7,000 multiplied by 10, because each family member will benefit from that. So if you give it a foreigner, definitely there'll be noise in the country. There'll be noise on that. There's no foreign investors in there. There's not enabling environment for me and you to go to settle something good. The whole country is just noisy. So
let me take you to, probably give you some more information. The Civil Service Agency CSA director, they call him what's the name again? He's is Director General Joshua Jokai. This is why he went to the Senate when the Dillon raised the issue. He said, this is what he said. Appearing before the Liberian Senate, Director General CSA Director General Jokai, Joshua Jokai delivered a swearing indictment of the Minister of Labor, disclosing that 7,032 of the Liberian 10,103 work permits issued in 2024. Yeah, that's nearly 70% of Liberian jobs were for positions protected under the Decent Work Act of 2015, which mandates that certain jobs be filled by Liberian citizens unless it can be proven that no qualified Liberians is available. So 10,103 jobs were available. So 7,000 were given to foreigners. So those jobs, according to the Civil Service Agency Director, that the minister issued permits to foreigners. That's just because you're saying you're not aware of the story. I'm just giving some background so you be aware what is that. Those jobs were for Liberians, except there's no qualified Liberian to fill the job. Well, I'll tell you something. When I was in Netherlands, just to let you know, when I was in Netherlands before, I went to study. When I was studying, and I applied to work, to give me a working permit, they said they won't give me a working permit until there's no Dutch person that's qualified to do that job. At the time I was a student, I was not called, didn't have a stay in the Netherlands. So you have to have, if you're not like a Dutch citizen, you don't have a work permit, and you're a foreigner, you're a student, you are not allowed to work, except that job cannot be filled by Dutch. Then you're allowed to work. But it has to be first publicized in the media, in the National Gazette, which is called the national newspaper. It must be first advertised that nobody qualified for it. This is the case in Liberia. 7,032 jobs in Liberia, man. The permit was given out. I don't know how this happened on our eyes. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on here? I don't know. I'm just short of words.
That means the cleaning job or janitor jobs and all, because that's things the foreigner were taking in that 7,000.
Liva, what do you think?
No, what I do know is that the Decent Work Act of 2015 specifies certain types of jobs, and even small businesses, and having a job or small businesses that should be solely and wholly allotted to Liberians only. Take, for example, you get a freezer sitting outside, making cold water, tying your cold water to make ice. You don't expect foreigner with huge investment to come and start doing that business, or men who can open some little factory to kind of start making that business. It's exclusively for Mamire, who is unable to go to the market, but her children playing in the yard and they got to eat. Then you got things like, opening small shops around, the provision shops. Then you got things like people working in the dry cleaning, people store-bought jobs, and certain things. Now, every country has a way of providing jobs for its citizens from the lowest to the highest. Okay, and in Europe, what they do, instead of, especially Norway, like you were just saying in Holland, like Norway, there are certain jobs that are exclusively for Norwegians. And I remember when I came to this country from Africa with a big thing in my head, journalists. There was a local correspondent for they have ELPC at state radio, right? And television. We had it here. We had a guy here in my district where I live now. And this guy was carrying the TV camera, and he was carrying the microphone to go do interview. Then he would read a story for the newspaper, also for the because that is a system. They got TV, radio, and newspaper. And then he would read all the story. He would do everything alone. So I got to know him, and we became friends. So when he got to know my ability, so one time I went to the office, and he was trying to do something, edit something on the TV camera, and I helped him to do it. He said, "Oh," so then he said, "Okay, but I'll talk to my boss." This guy made a way. I helped him cover 6 different stories. Okay, then he carried me to a boss. You know what the guy told me? The boss looked at me for long. He said, "Well, you get into Norway, you can't even speak Norwegian." And he said, "Hey, you been watching our news? Do you see black journalists there?" He said, "Not that we don't want to report the conservative people." He said, "Imagine that something happening, you live here, something happening in one of these small villages, and we send you there to go cover the story. The post not see you, they start going, they will not even want to talk to you." Yeah, you see, that's true. It's only recently they got some people who are sports commentators, black people who are sports commentators or sports analysts and a few other. But it's a white collar job. And when I decided to go to school in 2007, I went to the school fair, and I met the professor from the big university. The guy, he must have talk. He said, journalism is a white collar job for Norwegians. He said, you can't compete with them. The first thing is a language barrier. Okay. And in this country, they use that language barrier to stop you from any job. I went to school for shaping. I got associate degree in shaping. I got bachelor's degree in shape and port management. I got master's degree in shaping logistics. I came back to this country. They say you should have 5 years experience. Who learn experience in school? But the same people who say you have 5 years experience, the same boys and children that would left from there went to school together, they're all working. But when it comes to you, they foreigner, because they pay you hard money. They pay you $50 per hour. So who wants to pay or Yakpaulu from Liberia $50 per hour or $75 per hour? If you're working out of time, you got to take flight to go. They got to pay your transportation. They don't want to do it. See, so they will restrict you some kind of way, and that's why the Decent Work Act of Liberia wanted to do, to restrict certain jobs for the citizens. Imagine a boy coming from Bongonima, he come to Morio, he know nobody, but he got to live. So he will either be selling cold water or boil air. Now you can't have a foreigner who will go buy 10 S-bars or 10 freezers and put it down and selling cold water. So how would that poor boy compete with that man with a whole lot of money? Who can do that? So if you see this kind of story in the newspaper that the labor minister has given 7,032 jobs, that's a whole population of one city, of maybe Kakata or Banga. You take that jobs and give the petty jobs and give it to foreigners. I think that's beyond human comprehension. It's not about a job, but the disadvantage in it, right? Like I just said, Jima was supposed to have one freezer in a community. At least that one freezer, he can make it ice and people will buy it. But then Paul can have 15 freezer.
Okay, Jima all the business.
Yeah, Paul will even make it cheaper. So where will my mirror be? Where will Jima be? You see, so I think it's wrong. I think the government should try to regulate it to the point where we're not saying that foreigners, and Paul raised a good question, or Jima raised a good question, whether the foreigners are not qualified. It's not about qualification, but it's about fair, decent distribution of the wealth among the people. But just before let me recognize few people who are just joining us. We have Emmanuel Bro, he's from Minnesota. Emmanuel, hope you are enjoying the show. He's also making comment, of course, Chadela Brown, Triple, and our man Pataki, always here. And we have a few other people who, for example, Philip Deconti Jones is here, and my man Tumu Boniface Nelson is somewhere. I don't know what I should call it, but I think he's back home, and I just invited him, so he joined. So, and also even Valentine Pan is here. But I would like to say welcome to all of you. This is a Portland Liberia where we discuss the issues. So, guys, that's it. I think when you hear people raising alarm about these things, it's not whether they are qualified. Forget about the qualification, but it's
Therefore, you're right. I was just trying to borrow some. I know Paul and something. You're talking about being journalists in the West. Other people may not pick this up. It's very, very. I want just to bring to your attention those who are watching us right now. If you've been following CNN had a couple of divisions. CNN International, you got people with different languages, accents. American call it accent. If you're on CNN National in the US, you cannot read. You can't be on the CNN US if you have an accent. What is an accent? Somebody speaking, you don't have an American accent. You have to be pure American before they put you on CNN National in the USA. If you see those CNN International, you see other people, Africans are reading with a little accent, the on CNN International.
Yeah, BBC focus on Africa. Enough for BBC. Imagine, I didn't know that BBC focus on Africa cannot even be heard in.
No, it's not. There's no focus. I live in the UK. Can't
listen for 4 years. I can hear.
Yeah, you're right. You're right because BBC World Service, African World Service. You have to go to different channel to listen to those ones, and you have people with accents. Accent and people who don't speak. We are not native English speakers, and they speak with the English accent. You got a little bit of dialect into your language. You can be Irish, Scottish. They will allow you to speak on it. But if you have those funny accent, or I call it funny accent, your own language is like indoctrinated into adulterated English language. Your own language, from most of us from Africa. If you speak, you get an accent in it. If you get it in it, they can't get you on BBC. Let me tell you what happened here. Every region in the UK, every region has its own media.
Yeah.
So what they do if you're coming up an African or somebody from outside, you're not an African, you're not native English speaker. You want to get on the news. They start putting you on around 2 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Everybody's sleeping.
2 o'clock in the morning.
The drunken now be out.
No, this is serious. 2 o'clock in the morning, they start giving you to get used to pronounce words, to say how they're going to say it. Because they were training. Once you come on and tell it, they will just cut it off. The guy will just take the remote and just cut it off. Another guy, they won't want to sound. They don't want to be politically correct. They will just cut it straight off. So until you can pick that thing up, and you have to be something of that particular community of a special interest before they get you on that station on a television. So it's just something we want to let you know. And the people want to build. This is why their audience is not used to seeing your face. Your English you speak, they don't want to hear. They want to speak to their own people. Even most of them don't go to school here, but if you speak the English, you speak the local English. But they like that.
Let me add, Jema, on something you said. And also, they will teach you what we call the Queen's or the King's language.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hear the King's language now before they put you on air. You not just be the ordinary, or if you're from Liverpool, nobody can understand what you're saying for them to put you on BBC. No, you have to have the King's language at the command. Then they put you there.
Yeah, you see, and that sometimes we foreigners we feel a little bit downhearted when these things happen. And after I sit there, I listen to the pure news. Imagine the pure news, maximum 3 paragraphs. The whole news, maximum 3 paragraphs. Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a station here, 2 seconds. Every hour they give news headline. 2 seconds.
Yeah. So
we will take hour to give news. Even to a level we'll even be talking about international news.
We go to international news. Can you imagine? But and the thing I want to say is it's not because these people do not want other people to work. But there are certain things they just put that restriction on, and they use the language as a mean barrier for us.
And this is something when I was in the Netherlands before I moved
In
to
Liberia should learn this. I mean,
we are discussing this because we live here. Where I think you watch.
We come from experience.
We want to share this with you. This is very serious.
That people will tell you, say you should learn the language. What they're doing now, I'll share a short story with you. When I was doing my shipping course in Oslo, I had this Pakistani boy in my classroom. He was born. He was 1 year old. They moved to Norway, but his sister was born here. Okay, but then later went to computer school. She did design, graphic art, designing, right? With some Norwegian children that they all started from kindergarten. This girl, because she got Pakistani name, she applied after graduation for more than 100 letters because of Pakistani name. They say no job, no job. So one of our Norwegian friends to her from kindergarten, they all grew up. She said, "Jachi, poor Norwegian needed." The first application she said, "Well, Norwegian need they accept her." So the people, the interviewers were sitting there waiting for the person to arrive at 2 o'clock. When she knocked at the door, they opened the door. She opened the door. They said, "How can we help you?" She said, "No, I'm supposed to be here for interview." They said, "What's your name?" When she called her name, all the interviewers look at each other. They said, "Anyway, come in." Then she got a job. Then after she got a job, then she told them the truth. She said, "I've been applying. I can't get job. So my friend told me to change my name. But this is my real name." You see it? So that these things work against us in Europe. America is much better, but Europe, it works against us.
It's the same. It's the same, mate.
It's the same. Look, let me share something with you guys quickly. There are certain jobs in the UK, it's just designed for Africans.
Of course. Everywhere.
All right.
I agree. You need to tell us what kind of jobs are they so our people know.
Yeah.
So number one, cleaning job.
You get cleaning job, that's one.
And messenger job.
The care home job. The care home jobs. You can look after the old people. That's two.
So,
those one, and you can be when it comes to Burger King, waitress, the Spanish people that know how to do the coffee. So the people from South America, they know how to fix coffee. So every group have their own job. So you have a black woman who is an MP, member of parliament, represent an area in London called Vauxhall. She in parliament, this white guy came and said, "Oh, there's rubbish over there. Somebody dropped something. Can you remove it?" He didn't know that they're all equal. So she said, "What?" Just to tell you that you're not supposed to be in parliament, you're supposed to be a cleaner.
Yeah.
And she was outraged and went for that guy. See, so this is the situation that we have. So the issue that Jamal raised here is good.
President, you're driving job.
Yeah, I mean, we need to discuss this. It's quite an important thing.
Package delivery.
Francis, right. Paul, you forgot some other job. Our people do.
There's so many of them.
Let's go here. We got security job.
Yes, mini cap.
Wait. The security job, not every area they can employ you. No.
Yeah, in the UK, it's massive. Security job.
Oh, yeah.
Black man, huge. You gotta get a job. You know,
VIP job. So you gotta be at the nightclub door.
So you gotta be at a nightclub. You're not going to those VIP like with the palace. No, you gotta stay at nightclubs. You gotta go for the football games. You gotta be one there controlling those T-words. That's what you need to do.
When you got that, you will go for it.
Packing, warehouse jobs or warehouse operatives. You gotta pack and pick and pack and deliver. You gotta do that. You gotta do cleaning job. You have to do what else again? You have to do some common job people have. Care.
Restaurant.
Yeah, to look after people in the citizen home, old people homes.
Kitchen porter. Kitchen porter.
That's a kitchen porter. Those are the jobs. What the bouncer job? Yeah, Francis, we just say bouncer job. So those jobs are for minority group and not only minority, black people. So we are saying this like we are not against somebody getting a job in Liberia. But if a job is prescribed or reserved for Liberians, man, come on. Minister, why you give job to people that are people should get a job? Why they can't get a job? 7,000, the civil service agency director saying he got a record. He gave out permits. 7,032 jobs going to foreigners. If you're calling back, look, what's happening
let me also
this country, gentlemen. They tell us we are immigrants. When they go to our country, They're experts.
Yeah,
That's
let me also intensify the whole discussion here. You see, there are certain places in during George Weah, I saw this guy, this Nigerian guy, what is he? Who say he's been in Nigeria for years, he got like citizen and this and that.
Oh, Wakadiku.
Yeah. Of course, I know how to call any.
Oh,
this guy, Nwabudege, this guy he wanted to be something, just a minister or something big. Can you imagine? Even though he got Liberian citizenship, but I'm raising this issue. The federal Norway are living here. There is a company, big compound, complex, different, more than 30, 50 big companies in that place. Engineering companies. I don't want to talk about the other one. Certain company in that area and certain part of that particular, I work there. In the whole area, I work in the whole area. I know all the building, but certain building that for me, I cannot even go to the door. You can be European, okay? You can be women. If you're not born in Norway, in EU country, you cannot enter it. If you are not born in the EU countries, you cannot enter that building. Okay? So you see, the guy, the Pakistani engineers, all the guys from all over the world, Indians, or all they're working, but they can't go there because they're not EU citizens. I, as Norwegian citizen, I cannot go there because I'm black man or not born in EU country. See, so we got to set the standard. Then you got a Nigerian guy who wants to be something. I don't know what the guy wanted to be, man. I just forgot the something want to be.
George, we are saying his name as a National Election Commission chairperson.
Yeah, fine, very good. Those are sensitive areas that whether the man was born in Liberia or he get Liberian citizenship.
If he was born in Liberia, he qualify. If he get it,
you're not even born in Liberia.
If he was born in Liberia, that's a different thing. Gentlemen,
yeah.
He said you were born and raised. Maybe one of the parents must be a Liberian. That definitely would be a case.
No, both parents they came and while they took citizenship. You are not born in Liberia.
Okay. You're not born in Liberia, but we're just using the guy as a sample, right? But the point we're trying to make is that there are certain jobs to keep our pride and to even national security. Imagine taking a Nigerian guy. We're not against him, but the fact is a fact. This man got no particular ties to Liberia. He got no family tie, nothing. Okay, he only living in Liberia. Now, you take this man, making elections commission chairman. Isn't that man cares who wins? Once you get the money, he doesn't care. So there are certain things to keep our national pride. There are certain things that we're supposed to keep to ourselves. Okay, because I know if anything, in as much as I live in Europe, if anything happens to Liberia now, my people will be affected. My town, I got my properties, everything. So it will be affected. But like I always tell our friend here, me, I got second home. If anything happens, I can run away. But where you will go? Okay, then you will be like me because you let to call a foreigner. But so when anything happens now, where you will go, you will be foreigner too. So you see, our home is our home, and we're supposed to be proud. And one thing I've come to learn from the white men is they are very nationalistic. They can do all that crazy thing, but I say here, even the crazy man, they will respect the crazy man more than African king. Oh no, we think I'll be talking to the African king. By the time see, even the crazy man coming, you will tell about the African king, start talking to that crazy man. That nationalistic they are. But we don't do that in Africa. We don't do it for ourselves.
Yeah, well, guys. I think the Ghanaians can do that. Jamal, proceed.
Yeah, but let's make some clarification on this. On what's the guy name? Undubusi Nduobuke. We got to be clear before we make using an example. Before George Weah appointed him, he served key position in Liberia. Do you know that? Don't you say that he was the head of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission? You got to be careful. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. They appointed him before.
Yeah, he was. He served as the thing about here is about, my point here, guys. We got Liberians, we got people African descent with Liberian, they were different, not Liberian last name, surname. If you look at their parents, half of their parents are Liberian. I can tell you that. And you guys have right to job. I'm talking about foreigners like Chinese, Lebanese, Indians, Pakistanis, Turkish. If you go to, don't go to, come example, go to Cape Town. There's a gold mining company. What's the name of that gold mining company? Something like
King George.
Huh?
King George.
Yeah. I heard that the cook in that county, the cook, the Turkish company one is from Turkey. The people in Cape Mount need to have a job in that area. The road to that particular plant, gold mine, is not even paved. And the people in Cape Mount, you got citizens, large kids are graduating from high schools in Cape Mount, universities in Cape Mount. They are not even getting the right job. And they're having people from all the way Turkey to come and work in Liberia. Do not have Liberia qualified to work. Let's start with the Cape Mountainers themselves. Before you go to Botany County, look for Cape Mount, people in Cape Mount that are not qualified. This is the point we are raising. Look, let's go back to the minister. What, guys, do you think if the minister is found guilty, what should we do? Should he need to resign? Can you not be prosecuted? This is bad, gentlemen. Let's be honest here. We are just playing around the thing. Why should you give 7,032 Liberian jobs to people that now they don't deserve?
A proper investigation should be conducted because it's
possible. They already confirmed that he gave her. He can't defend.
No. I know it's confirmed, but how did he give this job? Did he receive money in return? Because this is what I'm driving at. The investigation should find out how. Because I know that man.
This guy is making clarification here. About Undubusi, who served as an anti-corruption committee chairman. This is Francis' comment. He said none of his parents were naturalized Liberians. He came with Nigeria during Ecomoor days, and he lied that his father was a natural Liberian. Look at it.
You see it?
Yeah,
and that's right. This is a man who was supposed to be.
You're right. You're right.
This is a man who was supposed to be election commissioner.
This is sad. This is sad. You can't do that.
Listen, we just look at it.
Guys, let me take other stand on this. You can't blame the guy because our country, Liberia, if you go back to the old constitution, all Negroes. And that's why you found out that we have precedent. Even Charlie King came from Freetown.
No, that's not a problem. No, that's not. Those were the days. Listen, forget even Barclays. He from the Barbados or whatever we call them. I mean, the generation.
So
he was born there.
Yeah,
but that's not the point, Paul. That's not what we're looking at. Liberia is the land of foreigners. We agree. We came there. Other countries are like that. But the question is, if you become a naturalized Liberian, if you're born Liberian, the law allows you to be. This is how we want to be. Consider that we're giving people with African descent a job to stay, the right to be a citizen. Why we don't investigate? Why we don't go do our due diligence? Look what happened with the medical doctor who served at the highest in the Liberian Medical Dental Association. And later to find out this guy was not even a graduate of a nursing school, right? So what are we doing here? This guy went to the highest peak of the job in the health department. That's a professional career, a professional association. He left, he went to the high, and not only that, he served as the medical doctor for the second man in the country, the second highest man in the country, as a medical doctor for his office. Nobody did an investigation. He's a Liberian. Now, but the question is, his qualifications have been checked. We just pick anything from me and go to Liberia, so I'm qualified. Once I look, I can speak the language, I can sound like, I can present myself, I can pitch well. There you go. That's what happening to us. That's what happened. What Francis just told us about this man coming to tell us that he was one Liberian and making National Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC. He was the chairperson. What is that?
And there is, you know, I'm not against people. I'm not against any African brother or whoever. But sometimes this thing can pin me. There is one guy. I'm still questioning his nationality and even his background. This guy serving Georgia government. Now he's serving in this government.
Who is that?
What the guy name? Chris Onaniga. That name. I've been trying Onanuga. Which tribe?
Onanuga. Okay.
Yeah. Christopher Onanuga. And when the guy talks, you know that he got Nigerian accent. Yeah. I'm not against that, but the thing is, they have not investigated them. You see it? Because the man lived in Liberia for a long time, and he got a very lucrative job under this government. I think he's some kind of ambassador. He said he didn't want, he volunteered to be ambassador. He was on spoon last time, and very cheeky guy. Very, I mean, that's closing argument. He's very cheeky. When he asked him certain question, he answered it some kind of way, you know. And I was praying if our own closing argument I'm going to ask him his background. Let him just explain it to Liberian people. Because for me, I still feel that this guy should tell Liberian people his background, because I don't think he's a pure Liberian. Well, yeah, it could be that some of the parents are like.
He's now the presidential envoy on tourism.
Yeah, fine. Tell him, look at a lucrative position.
Yeah, it could be that his mother is a Liberian, and during the war he went to Nigeria, and he's still there. He got absent, so that would get a lot.
Oh yeah, but let him explain to Liberian people. That's all we want. We want to know who he is.
I mean,
that's
a much more deeper discussion, gentlemen. Yeah. I'm thinking that we should look at this 7,032 people that they were giving Liberian jobs to. Those are more detailed one, but of course we need to do our due diligence before.
But that's bravery in the whole thing, because I heard a story that this guy been getting tipped off from these people. So you only get somebody job that.
I think if minister is guilty, he should go. I think the minister should go.
What's the name of the ministers, Jamal?
I think it's Emmanuel Kura, right?
No, Koba
Kura. Okay. Now,
yeah.
And he came from the Prince Johnson party.
Yeah,
he's from party, man.
Well, his daughter is the what? She envoy to the president, right?
Oh, yeah.
Special secretary.
Okay.
Why is it okay?
But again, another dimension, another layer, another layer of this thing that we're discussing about Liberians and the people taking Liberians' job. You know, I think I told you guys a story here. When I was studying in England, I had the Indian boys, Chinese boys. They used to joke me. Even one boy from Ghana called Charlie. He said, "My man, we got Indian Liberians, Chinese Liberians." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, boys, we're going to ship. They all got our passport."
Yeah, they don't show our passport. That's a different thing, gentlemen.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, because nothing practically works for us in that country because no system. You know how many children coming from, I think, the Maritime Academy or something like that in Liberia that's supposed to be working on those ships. The last time we discussed it, 4,600 ships under your country flag, and you got people who suffering.
It's crazy. I see why Chris is. If he's this is why Francis is giving. Francis is well informed about him. He say mother is Hayes from Brewerville. So mother one of those American Liberian Congo lady son. So that's why he's looking so, he's tough talking. Anyway,
yeah.
This is.
Well, Francis, I'm not. I'll just questioning is my right to know my fellow citizen. He get it right to ask me.
Thank you, Mensa, for giving that information, gentlemen. Let's transition. I think the thing that we want to come to the bottom line here, gentlemen, is we want to know why, if the minister is guilty. Look, this has been going on. First, who alarmed this whole situation? It came from Darius Dillon, saying that the news came about, and they called this Civil Service Agency Director, Josiah Jokai, to come and prove this. And he proved it. Right. And the minister need to come and defend himself. So what happened, you will find out these groups that are coming, I don't know what the groups coming from, telling us that, the minister is an honest man, is this one, that one. Oh, come on, man.
Jamal, when I ask the question and I say, okay, this story I heard it on their group called the Reload.
The class Reload.
Class Reload. The minister is asking another minister of his department. And they say, yeah, the minister green, another minister, director. So the Cooper crowd, the doctor said in the president office. That whole case, they will just talk. It's not going nowhere.
But it's not going to go. One thing I pick on, that case is not going to go. That's an end the line for the minister. I'm telling you, Cooper crowd. What is happening right now is being in the news for long. It's getting to get the attention of the people, and it's getting really serious. Look what happened. Some close people to the president, the president's arms been turned around now. Twist the area back to make sure he made decision. The recent case of the LTA chairperson, close to the president, he has to take that decision. There are other people are coming.
You gotta know the closeness. You gotta know how close.
But this is
guy was taking $250 from student in the first lady office. Where that case gone?
How much?
The scholarship scheme that they were giving.
Yeah, but this is at the bigger. This is at the bigger level.
Let me tell you, if Cooper Cra is on Waka's good list, and if Cornelia Kura, his daughter, and that guy's she's a strong UPist. If she's one of Baka's red hand person, no, nothing will happen.
It's not going nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Ask yourself the question: Who calls the shot? Is the president that calls the shot?
No, let me tell you something. The boy in the court of the House of Senators and Legislators to make sure that what they are doing, the Liberian jobs are being snatched and be given to foreigners, and they're sitting there, they're speaking for us, and these jobs are gone. And it's in the public domain right now. It's in the public domain. What are we going to do about it? Those things are being printed. We are talking about today, the 20th of June, and we are speaking about today. And another years to come, or year to come, what happened to the minister? Well, the minister cannot even defend himself. The minister should be aware right now. You should be, the way having to service our country, what they do, they ask the minister to step aside while they investigate the situation. He should resign in the first place. He should be suspended while they investigate.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. The minister is still in power, and then you think something will happen. Let me tell you.
7,032 Liberian jobs being given away to foreigners. You know how much people get on this job?
Where does the minister come from? The minister comes from Nima County. What is Nima County?
It does not matter, man.
I mean, Jamal,
brother, wait. See, let me tell you something. You're looking at it for now. The you people looking ahead. They're looking at 2029. You see, look, what happens now? Let it people will talk that Liberia day. Yeah. Have you heard this thing that we do know coming? We don't know all the other garden that we know Baka will know because they've been government for the 5 years. Let me tell you, it's simple. The same way they know Baka to be in government for 45 years, Baka also know who they are. So everything, look, Liberia, thing can happen. You can go on Broad Street, you kill 1 million people. People just cry, oh, it's finished. Okay? John, we are time they say 20 million, 16 billion laws in continue. People made no rule the rent in the street, it's finished.
Jamal, the
Ministry
of Internal Affairs have a ghost list. They have the ghost list that people been talking about, but the president cannot do nothing because that's his nephew.
Oh.
Right, okay. Thank you very much, guys. If you just joined us, this is the one Liberia. We're just discussing from our very heart. With Liberia is our passion. We're talking about tonight, our top stories, 7,032 Liberian jobs awarded to foreigners. And then second we discuss tonight, government fees. Government fines private schools for overcharging graduation fees. So the last but not the least we'll be talking about will be the trial of this former speaker and 3 others or 4 others. Now let's see what we got. If you have a thought on this, please join or share your thought. What do you think? Private schools were overcharging students for graduation. Gentlemen, you all graduated from Liberia, and you know how easy that we talk about.
Let me
lay this something. I'm gonna tell you something.
I want to go to a private school team.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. We are like people in the USA. Graduation with gowns is the key thing. If you don't graduate with gown with that picture, you did not graduate. So is there something that is that the parent are putting pressure on the high school or the schools to increase the fees to make it much expensive? When government came out with the government said private schools should not go over $100 US. Public schools should not go over 5,000 LD. That would be $25 US. Now they're charging more. The private schools are charging more. So government is finding them 100, and the school called Creator something school. I think if government just find them 150,000 LD for violating the policy. So, well, the question is this the private schools being under pressure to raise the fees, or because of the demand from parents, or because they want children to graduate, or is the government doing the right thing? Because this has been going on for years. Why today they were just charging? Finding a school. Everybody want to graduate. They don't care. They're paying the money. They're not money. They're not calling that they're overcharged. Why are you worried about that? Don't they have the money? That's my point.
Okay, Paul, go ahead.
What? Before you come, it's just funny. Jamal had a program on this show. We had a program here once about this girl who graduated from private school. Who was cuffed because you remember that story?
Yes.
All right. Something incoherent with what we just said about the 7,000 jobs. the economic hardship in Liberia, private schools in Liberia, they benefiting more, and that's why they keep carrying their fees up, because what happened in Liberia, there's no more government schools. So if you have government school, these people will not be carrying the fees up. So government school in Liberia now tend to be private schools today. When I went to government school through all my life in Liberia until I graduated. The only thing we did, our parents bought our uniform and books. We went to school. But now you have to pay for what they call registration fees, and that registration fees, some family cannot even afford it. And then this schools cannot, they can provide books. They give pamphlet, and students have to pay huge amount for that pamphlet, and you can't copy from your friend. It's a must that you buy the pamphlet. So in a nutshell, there's no more government school, so the private schools now tend to benefit. So they're milking the system to the maximum. That's why they keep increasing. If you didn't pass West African examination those days, you're not graduate. But now
it's the same, right?
No, it's not the same. You can fail, they'll make you to wear gun.
But okay, Linford, what do you think? No, because I think the parents are not complaining. The government just want to come up with this.
Okay.
Are the parents complaining that they are overcharging them? Are they?
I have experience from all the schools, like the private and the public. I went to private school. I started my elementary, and throughout elementary, I was in private school. I went to ETMR. From there, I went to Colonel Academy. From there, I went to LAC. There's a school in LAC called St. Elimana. I went to that school because my uncle was all over the place working, and I was with my uncle, so I know how private school operates. When I grew bigger, I went to Monrovia. I started in government school, Basel Teenage Poem. I went to the same school. When I graduated, I went to Haywood Mission. That's where I graduated from. And Haywood Mission was a private school, or it's a private school. And I know how private schools operate. They operate, some of them have very good supporters, like Haywood, where I graduated from. They are supported by the Pentecostal Association of the World, PAW. And then the school fees that we pay, okay, that also subsidizes the support that they get from overseas. So all of that, teachers are well paid, teachers are prompt in class, no teachers asking you for pamphlet. I mean, everything is just in place. I don't know about other schools, okay? By the way, we used to call ourselves small ACS, and we're sharing fence with ACS. We were in a new school that had closest start with ACS. We play basketball together, we do everything together. So, that system was there. And all parents wanted to send their children to Haywood, even though Reverend Simpson was very tough. He would whip us, he would do everything. But parents wanted to send us to school. And some parents were struggling to do that. But what they wanted was quality education, right? Now, compared to government schools, you will not believe that most of our teachers, okay, the Liberian ones, not the Ghanaian, we have a lot of Ghanaians and some Sierra Leoneans, but the Liberian ones, some of them were teaching in government schools. But you know what they do? They go and sign in at the government school and move from there and come to
private school.
Private school they spend the whole day. You see it? So the private school, they got that edge. St. Patrick's, and you name it, all the private schools in Liberia, those top B.W. Harris, NCF. So you see that they got edge, all the government schools, when it comes to providing quality education. So all parents want to send their children there, except those that cannot afford. So what the private schools do is that they set that standard. And people who are, if their parents complaining, I don't know the detail of the story, whether it is the parents complaining about the house.
That's the question. I don't think so. The government set a policy that they should not go above certain amount.
And who is government? When government, in fact, supposed to be subsidized by right, government should be subsidizing all private schools in order to be able to even regulate the curriculum. Norway here, we got private schools, but the private schools here, they are the same like government schools. The standard is the same. You can't pay nothing more if you don't. private school, they only pay, the student only pay. They get some private school group. In fact, I work in the school, so some private school can come there to swim, to our school to swim. So I know that everything is the same, whether that government school or private school, they are on the same level because government subsidizes the private school. So you government, you fail to do your work, but you want to go find the people. You know how they got gowns for the students to wear. You know how they printed their certificates. You know how they printed other things. Eh? Our gun for here we should come from overseas. So how can one Liberian government that Tome had gun, all the people that graduated from Tome have way 1940, they say using the same gun. Then you want to or here that will bring that gun from overseas every year that the money increase that fee. So the government has failed to do.
Paul, do you hear that?
Yeah.
I think the Paul, do you hear that? For 1940, you still wear your
it's true. Paul knows that the same gun they've been using, everybody been using. Oh, it's here. They can show it with thread.
The gun out there was
I got good friend from Tome High, right? I got good friend from Tome High. Even Jerry
Paul is a graduate of Tome High, so Paul should be here to tell us. Is that true, Paul?
No, the gun out there was no thread on it. Was new from the plastic when it came. So I don't know that 1940 gun that it wrote.
You're lucky. You're lucky. So, on a serious note, look at school at CWA, man. Even President Baka, he came from CWA. Ellen Johnson, President Salih, they all came from CWA. So can you imagine the quality of education they got there? Okay, or even their gowns and things, the uniform. Then one government that cannot even provide for Tome High, no chalk in the classroom. We can't tell the private school what to do. I think what government should do is try to improve the situation. I mean, the system such that parents would not even want to send their children to private school. Let me tell you, like I keep quoting, talking about Norway. Norway, yeah, you will not know the private school from the government school because all the same. Okay, it's the same standard. All the students get iPad, they get everything. Down to my first grade son who went to second grade now. I mean, yesterday he got an iPad, and so once you fix the system good, private school will even cease to exist. All parents will say the same thing in the private school, in the government school. You see it? Okay. So I think government should put their feet down to do the right thing.
The government have the responsibility to take care of its citizens. If the government fail to take care of its citizens, this is where you get. Tolman High that I went to, I have my own lacquer. And it's just to tell you the kind of level, the teachers that we have in Tolman High, the books, the level. So this thing that we have in Tolman High was great. That this is where the strong and the brave meet. Only the strong survive. Academically. That was the motto of Tolman High. So it was there that the money that was pumped into, even the United Nations pumped money into that school, that teachers were paid from overseas.
And I think that Liberian government built that school.
It was a joint venture by the U.S. and some kind of thing was set on the build those schools.
There are a couple of schools built like that. Nipo Junior High.
Yeah, Jerry Gacy, Tolman High, American High, all the schools around the country. I think they built them. That we were there.
They built a proper school.
Proper high school, yeah. So the government have the responsibility. The government feel this is why the private school now they have to make the money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the government cannot go and tell the private school do they because you don't know how to do that thing.
All right, guys. Now,
because I was thinking that it was the parents that were complaining. If the parents complain, fine. But you government, you're not doing nothing. Then you want to tell the people, you're not buying food for my house. Then you tell me how many cup of rice to cook. Yeah. how many pieces of beef for
yeah. Now, if you just join us, this is Born Liberia. We are discussing what is happening in Liberia tonight. We got topics like 7,032 jobs being given away to foreigners in Liberia. Government has fined a private school for overcharging high school graduation fees. And we'll be looking at international news as well. We looked into what's happening in the Middle East, a little bit of West Africa, the economic ECOWAS meeting that's taking place right now in Nigeria. And also, African leaders are taking cue from a young, talented, cool, calm, collected president Ibrahim Traore as well. So those are the ones we have a look at tonight. We'll be looking at the main topic tonight. The former speaker, Jonathan Funati Kofa, JFK, former speaker of the House in Liberia, is facing charges for arson with 4 others. Now, we'll take a break, come back. My colleagues will be telling us what they think about it and what you think. Share your thought with us. Paul, we'll take a commercial break, we'll come back. Share the show, please.
Okay, while we take a commercial break, please share the show.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia #1 vocal, Liberia #1, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we have spot. And forgot that #1, oh, from Liberia all around, it's super.
Once again, I want to welcome you back to the Border Liberia. Tonight, we come to you live from mainland Europe. My name is Jamal Kamara. Tonight, we'll be discussing issues in the newspaper in Liberia as well as international scene. Paul Lord Churuplay, good friend of King Charles, is here with us, as well as my good friend, Linfo Egongwe, based in another studio in Norway. We've been discussing Liberia as well as the international world, what's happening around us. Now, tonight, before we take leave of you, we have major news to discuss. We have been making big news in our country called Liberia. We'll give you a little bit of background. The former speaker and 4 others being indicted, kind of almost indicted. Let's see, can I say indicted? They are facing charges for arson. There was the somewhere around December last year. The House of Legislation,
December 18.
Yeah, December 18 to be precise. Got a fire. The House of Legislation got a fire, and eventually they've been accused of the hands involved in it. So they are facing some charges right now. The case is going on. It's become the talk of town. It's taking major headlines in Liberia. So it's something people may think like we're overdoing this thing, but it's something that we need to talk about because high-profile politicians and lawmakers are involved. So tonight, the case is being taken to the lower court. It was at the Supreme Court being taken to the real court. So my colleagues, Linfo, Egongwe, and Paul, and if you are there, if you know what you want to share with us, going to join us and talk what you think about this case, what's going on right now. Gentlemen, this former speaker and others case been taken back to the lower court. What is going on here? Linfo.
Well, you see, this case is something difficult to talk about because I mean, everything humanly possible has been said about this case and has been done about this case. Yet the case persists. And like I said in the last edition of the program we had last last Tuesday. One would have thought that the election of Speaker Kun would have laid this whole case to rest. But again, it becomes embarrassing to lay the case to rest when the Capitol building is burned and the president himself has been involved by passing verdict, premature verdict that was, upheld by the police through the investigation, and the case went to the court. So if they have just said, okay, since Kun is now elected as a speaker, let's lay the case to rest, the Liberian people will say come back. Some, not all, some will come back to ask, oh, but what happened to the burning of the Capitol building? So the government just has to find a way, to hold somebody responsible for this thing. And this is where we are now. From the onset, when the Capitol building got burned, we saw the court in several people. What the guy something. Safogo was one of them because he made certain statement a long time ago, and they went back to that recording and they brought him in. Later on, they released him, and most of the people they arrested, they remain in jail, even as we speak. Now they've been involving other people. I saw a video where they brought one guy. Some people say he was in Ghana and they went for him.
Or something like that.
Yeah, they used Interpol to go for him, and they brought him. And the guy is saying that he was at a hotel and all these things, and he's saying that they try to coerce him, they try to entice him with money and all these things. So it's a lot of drama in this particular case, and it becomes very difficult to know the true nature of this case. And the way things are going, I think that what the police director said that this case is politically motivated, it's a political case. Let me quote him correctly. He said it's a political case. I think we will only sit to watch the politics unfold in this case. It's not the case itself. This is not about the case, but it's about the politics. Who is a kofa to challenge the whole executive? Who is a kofa to be the cause of the Capitol building burning? So somebody has got to bear the weight of the case. And I said this thing last time. I made a post a long time ago, not a long time, maybe a month ago, where there was this mosquito tied to the stick, and there was this frog with a rubber gun trying to aim the mosquito, saying, "Why you bit me?" And the mosquito denied, and the mosquito said, "Oh, I bit you, boy. And I mean, I suck your blood. I'm going to bit you. And my girlfriend suck your blood." So, it's like if I accuse Paul, or I am the accuser, I was supposed to be the jury, I was supposed to be the judge, I am supposed to be the witness, the everything in the damn case. So what choice does Paul have? Paul might end up making some confession, and this is what they are doing. So, like I said, the case is difficult to deal with. The case, we just got to sit down and watch the political part of it unfold. And at the end of the day, somebody will have to be the culprit. It could be Kofa, or he could be exonerated. We don't know yet.
Paul, we expected when the case was at the Moravian City, Moravian City Court, we expected the city to make a decision. Eventually, things change around. They keep going
and they send it to the criminal court.
Yeah, there. But Paul, you've been following this case very well, closely, religiously following this case. What's your look at it? Is this something? Is it political witch hunt, or is justice at work here? Or what do you think is the case from your observation so far?
Thank you, Gemma. And straight to the point, it's a political witch hunt. Why am I saying this? In 1983 or 1984, when we were kids, some guy called Flanzamiton.
Oh, you always bring this case out.
Yeah, this is typical Flanzamiton's story.
It's Trump up, yeah?
Yeah. When Doe wanted to get rid of Backup Matthew, Tipote, and all of those politicians, they said they fake assassination to carry up at Flanzamiton. And what happened to Flanzamiton? He was not letter enough. The paper they gave him, he could not read the names. So based on that, he got killed. The story of the burning of the Capitol building when the president went there on that day, when the place was still in flame, he made a remark that arson attack on that building. That's tell you Joseph Burkhardt knew who burned the building. Because in a normal country, that's what, because there was no investigation, the place was still burning. So in a normal country, the police will be knocking on his door to provide that evidence who burned the place. So what I'm saying is political witch hunt here. You cannot want to burn a building and you have 5,000 people sitting down planning to burn a small place. Every day they're arresting somebody connected to burning of that place. If I want to go and shoot people in the street, or I will not get everybody involved, I will go do it. Only time you find a group of people coming together to do something when they want to overthrow a government, that's where they will meet to strategize. But to just burn something where you have the state police there, you have the EPS, because the executive marshal gets security right there, this there 24/7. Capitol building have its own security. Next door is the police station. Where you get 5,000 people planning to go in a bed, according to the police IG, all of them burn the place. That was the charge. So Fanatic Kofa went in there, he carried his own, whether the kerosene or the gas. President Kopa went in there. So all of them, how did they enter by bypassing the security in that building? So this thing is a political question, and the RG told us that they have graphic satellite images to find these people guilty. They went at the preliminary trial, they could not show anything. They still arresting people from Ghana. What is complete nonsense? It's a political witch hunt. That's how I see it. Looking at something and who guess what? Joseph Newman Burkhardt was in that door government. So this is Samuel Doe playbook that these guys are using. That's how I see it. Linford, you muted. Linford, you muted. Linford, we can't hear you.
He's struggling to come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, man. Sorry. I come back again to my old saying that only Baka we know. Baka being in government for 45 years. Now, we on the show here, we've been knowing each other for a couple of years, right? So if somebody come to you and say, Paul, I saw Linford breaking somebody door, or I saw Linford drawing your lane in the quarter, you say, I know Linford. I don't think so. If somebody come to me and say, oh, I saw Paul fighting Paul, I say, the Paul I know, I don't think so. So the way Paul know me, I also know Paul. So the Liberian people, like you just mentioned, the do government. Waka was in that government. Waka, he held director positions, manager position, and all this kind of thing in that government. And he can go back to the 45 years experience and say, oh yeah, I remember that so thing happened when so thing happened. So I can also bring in that thing idea. So certain time the newspaper they also call it flasamitomic. Yeah, we bring in history, but children that were born 1990, they don't know all these things. They also call it flasamitomic, and you know that most MD flasamiton was related to 90s do some kind of way. And besides that, most flasamiton when that thing happened, that Pacharo chip is sold in Liberia like hell. Because people say that 50 caliber can go inside. Exactly with 50 caliber, it didn't go. You see, when they were carrying to working, they say, let me tell the truth. They say, no, true here, go. They late. So, time will come, we will hear the story here. Maybe Kofa might go to jail, or whoever will be convicted will go to jail. But the real story will come out one day. And remember that nothing lasts forever. Most of the things that happen during time. The story started coming out after during time. The ones that happened till that time, the story started coming out. So the Baka time, the stories will come out because there are people we dealing with actual people here. We're not in movie. This is not no science fiction. we dealing with actual people. That will come. Somebody story will come out. The guy that is just arrested a few days, the guy already started saying that people wanted to give him money so that he will lie on Kufa. So, you know, this case is highly political. Like I said, the case, there is no case against Kufa. But the only thing that is there is the politics. Okay? The case, we know me, I will tell you, Kufa did not burn that place. Whoever burned it, I don't know. But Kufa did not take gasoline to go there to burn it. Or I don't think Kufa put a hand in your pocket and say, John Brown, you're kind of let me pay your go burn the capital. In the first place, prior to the burning of the Capitol building, guys, the three of you, or the three of us there, somebody tell me a lie. Wasn't there a planned protest? And because of that protest, heavy security presence was at that place. In fact, the protesters clashed with the police and they were tear gas, and the police cordoned the whole place. Wasn't it that way? It was.
It was.
Who in the hell, in their own right man, if they wanted to burn a Capitol building, at least they didn't do it in the broad day, because the guy would have bought the gas from way Broad Street to come, right? To come burn the Capitol building. So he and the police will clash in the broad day. But in the night, where the police knows that nobody's supposed, because daylight, anybody can count the Capitol building. But in the night, police there, all the security forces there, then the brave guy will go buy gas because he want to die. If the police will catch him, they will shoot him. Then he said he went to the Capitol building. And he didn't put the gas to the outside of the building, but he went inside the building to put the gas. Hey, man, are we zombies in Liberia? Is the government thinking that we are stupid people? Man, sometimes I get out of this country.
Jema, look, it would take one person to carry gasoline or petrol and throw it. But everybody that they name, they walk in the building and put fire. Think on it. It doesn't make sense to burn a building like that, even if from fanatic cover. Get one of the picking up from offices, do this thing, and you don't have to have meeting. This is why now Yeka Koluba is now inviting himself that the police must call him for investigation. Because
they don't want to call him.
They can't call him. Because one of the recording the police have, Yeka's voice is on a recording, so he's now inviting himself. Say because this guy was saying, oh, Fanatic Kofa was at Joseph Newman Barker house when and this guy from Looking Town, Abu Kamara called, and that recording they are recording they use the audio recording, and Yeka Koluba is saying in that recording they call him, they didn't get him, then the point, but when you been there, they use some language. He said, remember I was sleeping. So Yeka now said my voice is on you invite me. Say they can't invite him. So think on it. How many persons were playing the burning of one place and that fanatic cover just give somebody money, just do it without revolt everybody that you can bring
of that? There was a lady that was involved in the name. She's out of the picture. She's out of the picture now.
Oh, that was just a small screen. That was to dilute the whole thing, to say, okay, let arrest one of the UP people and put her there. And then we say a fair, that fair, case. But me, if I'm in a court, I don't know what ordinary people can ask question, but I'll put my hand and say, George, I just want to ask the people one question. Where were the police? So you mean the police were negligent? Because
but apart from the police, the Capitol building have its own security that guard our place 24/7.
Whether they get KGB there, me, I want to ask the question. Where were all of this? Yeah. Whether they get KGB there, well, because the thing is, the reason why he took all the why the security took all the building was to protect it. That was the sole reason. So all the people that should be dismissed by now. Before the case is in court, they should be dismissed. That means they were negligent or did they? Let them be dismissed, or let them be part of the case. Let them be investigated. But you see, Liberia is such a country where they will look at the raw truth. Then they then they power by it. Then they go look for different things to bring up. Simple.
No.
It will say no.
The RG said that they have satellite image, the movement of these people. Why is it taking that long to present this evidence? Let people see the evidence and convict these guys. Then you say
I'm missing presence on the show tonight, man.
You bringing somebody every day. They charging new people. How many people are born in one place?
Right,
yeah,
guys. So what do we expect out of this? But the bottom line of this, I asked last 2 weeks again concerning about the indictment of these four guys. Will they be indicted and sent to jail and be stripped up of their lawmakers' immunities, or will they be impeached? Ask their constituents to.
This is complicated. This part is complicated because I don't think because the people got accusation on their head. If you
consider they are being indicted and found guilty, that's what I'm saying. They're being indicted, but they're found guilty.
If you find them guilty, it's not you didn't elect them. They were elected by the people. So
what is the situation? What is it going to be like if they are found guilty?
Yeah, that's what I say. It's complex. I don't know whether there is any provision in the law or in their own book in the House, in the House of Representatives, that say that if any of our members is found guilty of certain crimes of certain magnitude, that person can be stripped off their position, or it's left with the constituents that they are representing. So it's a little tricky. I don't know the details. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but
I think we can do research on that and find out from people who in the House to tell.
I don't think the court or the government has the sole right to say, okay, you are stripped off, because these people were represent. I mean, when I appointed, they were elected by people. So there are people can still say, yes, sorry, Paul. There are people can still say, for example, Funadu Kofa, he represents. Is it what Sano?
Yeah, some district in Sano.
So the people can say,
okay, Sano, like Grand Crew.
The people can say, okay, even though the case our representative is solely involved or whatever, blah blah blah, but we still got confidence in him, so we don't want to impeach him. So the government will not go and trace the people. Like I said, I don't know, but whether there's law, or I think the people should be the one to make a decision.
Right, guys.
Jamal, before we close on a note, and I will say this, that Flansamington, one of Flansamington thing. There is no case. Look, the fact is that they have not done forensic investigation in that building. Because the president said it's arson, so they all went with it. It could have been electrical situation. In Liberia, when you put generator on, place can get burned. But the fact is that he already committed that people have done it. So you have two groups of people fighting each other. Police took side with one group. And the group that the police took side with, they never call one person in, and they all been in a fight. So if you don't police signs, for police to go after it, they will tell you what was the motive of this person burning the place. Why would Fanatic over as a sitting speaker? Why would he burn his own office? I mean, this
so many things in the case of Paul, man. When I was out on the thing, so many things. Before the building got burned, security took charge. So where was the security? Let Gregory Kuma go answer that one before he brings a picture. Then the second thing, why is it that the speaker chair disappeared from that particular place that got burned when it's supposed to be there? Who took it off? Who knew that you were going to get burned before they took it off? So the same people who burned the building didn't want to took a speaker chair and carry it. No, they think Liberia, the country. The last time I was saying I wanted to read something, I want to post something on Facebook, or I just post more. I said, do they king too early? They cook king too early. I just started right there. And nobody can ask me to explain it. That all I know, they cook king too early. Seriously.
So consider that they are found guilty. We don't know if they lose the legislative
immunities
and privileges. We don't know now. But the thing is, criminal charge against them that's damaging though. So definitely consider that they are found guilty. Let's wait the way it's going now. It may end up being indicted. They're looking at if they can be found guilty. If so, then they're going to serve some years in jail that may not even allow them.
They'll be treated like common criminals. I mean,
Now,
example.
yeah, that's the question. They may not be even allowed to come out before the end.
Yeah.
2029. So what happened to the
they'll be treated like any common criminal assault.
I'm looking at the vacancy created now. That would be like the Vale House of Representatives job, about 4 vacancies being created already. So there must be by election to fill those jobs.
Because the government will not take that. They will pay.
So, you see, Gemma, the case here, it could break this government, it could make this government if they're not careful. Because there are a group of people you're going behind. If you don't show concrete evidence, it's already in the public now. And a jury trial, people are seeing the thing is just glaring that if you cannot present a concrete evidence to tell the people into it, this will be bad for the government.
Well, Paul, let me help you right here. You know what I want? You know what I go? No, yeah. If I can know the people, if I can know like politics very well, you know what the government wants to do? You know, what the guy do when do grab all the politicians and put them in jail along with some journalists, and they said we're going to execute them tomorrow. What do they? Second clemency. So do that good guy. Oh, they made President Gusso. So Baka knows. Now 2020 not coming. So these people will be guilty. Trust me, from what I'm telling you, Father will be guilty. Then at the end of the day, they'll put them in jail. Then Baka will provide and will give them a second clemency. Baka that good president. And that like people can think, oh, people put the capital building, but the president pardon them. Let me get closer. I'm closing now. You know that Mr. Cummings, when Mr. Cummings made a statement a few days about the airplane, the private jet, right?
Yeah.
Did you follow most of the comments? People say, oh yeah, at least committing in good now, simply because he did not condemn Mbaka. So you people thought he's so good now, at least he backing the president for riding or for flying private jet. And I was just laughing. I look at it and say, education is very important. People can't think beyond their noses. The mayor is laying the premise and telling you that it doesn't matter if you ride private jet, but what you bring back. So ask yourself, you're always celebrating all on Facebook because Comey said this. If Comey had just said, oh no, it's that good, Comey will be the worst man. But when Comey said, oh yeah, you can fly the private jet, but what matters is what we get in return. They say, oh, Comey, now you're thinking, now the Liberian folk can. I was just laughing. I say, yeah. So that how simple we are, that how stupid people are.
Therefore, I know Jamal is pushing for all to close the show. And
yeah, and really so we go over 2.5 hours.
If we can spend the next 5 minutes, look.
No, it's not like that. It's just like I'm not pushing to. I just want to have something like an end line where what do we see this indictment or the case to go? That's what I'm looking at. Because
this is the point I was trying to make when Linford gave. This is the point. Do you know Cummings versus CPP? There is a playbook here. Fanatic Kofa, he's well connected to. This will drag on and they will use the Cummings playbook. Mark what I'm saying here, because they know when there was a United Party that were going after Cummings to kill his political career, and something he did that they had never done it before in Liberia. Fanatic Kofa, they will not sit down, that they will play into that same playbook. The government is a bad news that if you're not governing, this is what you do. You create chaos. So when you create chaos, you get everybody talking. Now, in the code of popular opinion, that we not expressing ourselves from common sense, but the lawyers see things differently. Fanatic Kofa is a serious lawyer. He will not sit down and these guys will say, okay, we just go convict them some kind of way. They will play Alexander Cummings playbook. They will bring in different people to carry off forensic investigation, which the government refused to do.
By the way, had they started the reconstruction of that place? Because 2 days, just 2 days after the government passed budget, can you imagine how fast?
This is the point. This is the point. They knew exactly how much it cost to renovate the place. And asking this is a political witch hunt. There is nothing serious about the case.
This is what happened. This is not surprising to any one of us. Coming was in the same hot political tussle as well. And we saw that with like 6 months, 5 to 6 months, we're discussing this. And the government of the day has the power. This is the game in Liberia, where in any African city or country, where they will use the political power to silence other oppositions and stuff like that. So I don't know how they're going to look like, but I can see this guy going down the line. Their various seats are vacant. Their legislative privileges or immunities will be stripped off, and there will be by-elections. That's the end. I think this is what I'm foreseeing right here. That's the end for those guys. So that's what they want to do to them. Strip them of their legislative powers and privileges.
Because
at the end of the day,
that's the intent.
That's the intent. So that's what's going to happen. If that's what we're looking at now. That's what we're looking at. We've given our own opinion on this. So, and because what I've noticed right now, there were 5 of them. One of the ladies that was on the other political party of the unity.
No, she's not free yet. She is not free.
But she's not in jail, is she? She's been bailed.
She now went to jail.
Where she is? What's the situation? What's the situation right now?
She part of the group, but she was the one that, because she's from United Party, she didn't go to jail.
I think I think her lawyer put in for medical something or stuff like that. It's just a design, it's just a scheme.
Okay, let's see how it's all going to fall out, how the whole thing going to play out. Well, let's see. But what the good thing, we've got a platform to discuss it. We have the time to talk about it, and let's see how it goes in Liberia. But in the meantime, before we take our last lap, let's say, to wrap tonight's show. So I want to give you at least about 5 seconds each and see what we take from here from today's program. So I'll start with Paul.
Well, thank you, Jamal, and thanks to our audience for following us, for being with us. I think the starting of the program, we're talking about the international thing, what's happening in the Middle East, and we were able to show some of the things, the buildings that got destroyed in Tel Aviv and other parts of Israel, that the West now, they have second thought. And I think the war should stop, because it's not good for everyone. As long as they keep dragging on, people will get involved, and there'll be a lot of economic hardship all over the place. With them, we had the experience from Ukraine and Russia war, that prices just went up high, and this could be another one that could trickle a lot of things going up high. Now, with the situation in Liberia, the schools, the private schools, I think the private schools are ready to increase their graduation fees, because the government refused to do the right thing for its own citizens. So they shouldn't blame the private schools or putting fine on them. I think is the government doing it all wrong. In regards to the case in Liberia and the 7,000 jobs that have been given to foreigners, I think that person, the minister, should be called to board, investigated if he's found guilty, and be prosecuted for taking bribe. That is bribery, because you wouldn't give 7,000 jobs to people in Liberia without getting bribe envelope. It should be serious investigation. And with the burning of the Capitol building, in my own opinion, it's a political witch hunt, because 20% cannot sit there and plan how to burn one little spot, and then they all go piece by piece to drive gasoline or something. It's complete nonsense the way the case going. And I think that case should be through all of court. In a normal country, from day one, that they should have dismissed it, as long as the police cannot give proper evidence. They said they have graphic image, they have satellite image. on day one of the preliminary trial, this is where you present the case that this is what we got. Then the judge say, yes, it's valid. But the judge look at it and say, no, I wash my hand. You're taking the criminal court A. That tell you something fishy about the whole case. And they stay investigating, they stay indicting people, they stay arresting people. So what does that tell you? 500 persons in one building, in my mind, it's a political witch hunt, and that case going nowhere.
Right.
My turn?
Yes, Linford, go on. Let's hear you.
Okay. Internationally, we discuss the issues about or the crisis in the Middle East, Israel versus Iran, something which people couldn't imagine would happen. A lot of people are disappointed. Even the big hands that have been behind Israel, they are disappointed because they thought it would be another Gaza where you bomb the guys and go sit down around the dinner table or the coffee table and look at the video and laugh. Say, see that one? It would be, yes, at least. But this time around, it took them by surprise. Enjoy. It took them by surprise. And so if you hear big countries like, if you hear big people like Donald Trump then saying they're giving 2 weeks ultimatum, I'm surprised. I was expecting to reduce it to maybe 1 day, 2 days ultimatum. Why is he waiting for? Within 2 weeks, many things can happen. We're talking about 14 days, right? It takes just a few seconds to send bombs, and bombs take a few seconds to explode. So why waiting for a whole 2 weeks? But why all the cases, the unexpected happened, and I think this will set a precedent. Somebody somewhere will taste their own soup that they've been cooking and serving other people. Somebody somewhere will taste how it tastes. We leave that at that and watch for further development. Then we'll move on to and I saw a video where this evening this video discouraged me, where this group of guys in Israel were trying to attack missionaries that were preaching at a gate, something a famous gate, and the guy had the audacity to tell the Christians that Christians worship idols. They are idol worshippers. This is an Israel, or this is a country that is supposed to be God's quote unquote chosen people. So the people that serving the same God, you call them idol worshippers. So the God that chose you is an idol. But if you say that one, our Christian brother then will jump on and start fighting you, causing you. This is where I see stupidity in Christianity, because they die for something that they don't know. This one, oh man, God, so to be said that somewhere way some behalf one guy hiding himself from you for generations, and you suffering on your own, but you will die for him. Let me move on. Or we go to Abraham Traore, you know. What guy in the old puppy, the way that I could see the disappointment in their faces. She said, Aleha Abraham Traore greeted them. He said that he bowed to the airport up, he paused their plows, and he went inside and said, your can't on that. Then I was stood up. He can't even look at the ball face. No, let me tell you, Freetown men got the parable. If you got to carry the cow, do not let it caca on itself. Leave it clean and carry it. They sat down there, they were acting it tough, they playing the game, you know. One for so, they want to see what will happen. Okay, whether they will coup attacks and things will take place and Traore will be out, but Traore is still moving strong. So they say, well, guys, let's just go to talk to the boy. And I hope he will be smart enough. Yeah, on the home front, the case with when it comes to the jobs for Liberians, I think the government needs to do well. Or even we Liberians, the labor ministry especially, should set precedents. The same way other countries streamline people. Set that attitude. So when foreigners can know where they're coming to. We in Europe, we know. Okay, if you apply for a job, make sure that you're going to meet tough time from the interviewers. Okay. Where I work now, when I apply, I have 7 people interview me. Or other people come that only my boss can interview them. So I was like, when I listen, I was tempted to ask, But you can ask your boss, 7 people, my man. But the God that blessed me was when I entered, one of my former boss, man, long time, why was in that particular thing. She didn't recognize me, but what I did was to kill the whole spirit. I said, oh, so it's so person. Why she said, yeah, I said, yeah, I know you. They want to describe myself. She said, yeah, I remember. So I dissolved, I managed to. So, but the point here is there are rules that every country goes by when it comes to employment, because there are sensitive areas that you can get. It may look common, but there are certain things that you can get put ordinary people or foreigners there. You will kill the spirit of your own people. That's what I'm talking about. Nationalism, Liberianization. And then the Funati Kofa case, this case is politics, clean. And we are in a political theater. We are watching what's happening. So nobody can give the outcome of what will happen. We hope that Kofa then will fight a good fight. He fought, but still they remove him. That was the first victory for them. So the second victory they want to gain, which is the biggest one, is to have him lock up in stock and have nothing to do with politics for the next year that will be in power. But I hope it will turn out the other way, like what Paul said, that Mr. Kofa and the people involved will all fight that fight and go and see if they can get some group that can help them to get out of this thing, or else it will be another story where Joe Baka will come have executive clemency. Thank you very much for tonight, and to our viewers, thank you. We'll be here on Friday or on Tuesday.
Thank you very much. For which thanks to all those who join us, where you join us from. Thanks for sharing the show. Those who first time being with us tonight or today, where you are, and to our colleagues that couldn't join us tonight as well. Francis Mensah, thanks for your input. Many others, Chadela Brown, always good. Brown Chuluple, thank you very much. Always Betaki. Many others that join us tonight, first time on the show. So thank you. Always be part of the show. To remind you, we are here every Tuesday and Fridays. And always come and let's see what you get for us. Discuss Liberia as well. We discuss international. And that wraps up for tonight, 20th of June, Friday, 2025. My name is Jamal Kamara. My colleague, Francis, who should have been watching now, but be inputting from the back office. And also we have Linford Igongwe from Norway. And my man, this friend of King Charles, Paul the Lord Choloplay. And once again, we wish you a wonderful weekend and take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.